Boeing says it sent inspection instructions to airlines operating the 737 MAX 9. This isn't the first time it's having issues with the MAX family of jets, as I was speaking about with Richard Quest. The 737 MAX was grounded 5 years ago after two crashes that killed more than 300 people. It's likely one of the reasons why Boeing's stock is down sharply today. Shares in Boeing's supplier, Spirit Aerosystems, have fallen. The stock of Boeing's main competitor, Airbus, is trading higher in Europe. Jason Gursky is a top equity researcher for Citi in the aerospace and defense sector. He joins us live now from San Francisco. Jason, thank you so much for being with us. I mean, I can't imagine. I close my eyes and I think about being on that flight, and honestly, I cannot imagine anything more terrifying. Just give us your take on what Boeing needs to say to restore confidence here.
Well, I think they need to work closely with their regulators to get to what the root cause of the issue was here, and then work closely with their customers to keep them really well informed about where they are in the process of getting these aircraft inspected and back into the air. But I think most importantly is working really closely with the regulators to make sure that they are assisting in every way that they can to ensure that we get to the root cause of the accident as quickly as possible.
I think the issue is that this is not an isolated incident when it comes to the MAX family of planes. Yes, this happened with the MAX 9, but you think about what happened 4 or 5 years ago with the MAX 8. There were two plane crashes killing hundreds of people. It happened within months of each other, involving similar aircraft, the MAX 8. And so just when you take it into context, I mean, it's one thing if this was completely isolated and it was the first sort of issue with the MAX family of jets, but the fact that it's one, or the latest rather, in a series, that makes overcoming this a little bit harder for Boeing, does it not?
Well, look, I think we need to get to the bottom of what happened here first and foremost, right? The issues that you're speaking of had more to do with some sensors and information that was flowing into the cockpit that controlled the plane itself. The aircraft and the issue at hand here is a plugged door. And Ryanair is a very important customer for Boeing. They manufacture this Dash 9 with those additional doors in it because Ryanair likes to fly its aircraft with pretty dense seating configurations. Most other airlines don't fly so dense, and so they don't need to use those doors. That's why they're plugged, and they look like regular old windows when you're sitting inside the cabin of the aircraft. And look, this configuration has been designed into the Dash 9 aircraft since the previous variant of the 737, what's called the NG. So this goes back to the late 1990s that we've been flying with plugged doors, and the current variant has been flying since 2015, the MAX. And all along the way, we've not had an issue with these plugged doors. So we've had a long history without any issues, and then we have a brand new aircraft that comes off the production line here and has an issue 2 months after being delivered. And in between the time that it left Boeing's facility and this incident here, it also visited reportedly an MRO facility to have some work done on it as well. So we don't know if this is a manufacturing issue and it's a complete one-off, whether there was some work that was done to the plane after it left Boeing's factory. It's still TBD here, but I don't think you can draw that there's no connective tissue here between what happened in the front of the cabin and the sensors that caused the crashes back in 18 and 19 to what's going on here, at least at first blush.
Right, but it's sort of the only connective tissue is the fact that you have a CEO of a company who's now managing a long list of crises, whether it's supply chain havoc, whether it's a series of quality defects, whether it's the crashes that happened in 2018 and 2019, and now this. What does Dave Calhoun actually need to do to restore confidence here and to really manage this crisis effectively?
Well, I mean, be transparent with the public, cooperate with its regulators, be very transparent with its customers, and just tell everybody what's going on. I don't think that he can do much more at this point. They are going through a process of ramping in production and making sure that that goes smoothly. We have had a lot of teething issues in the supply chain coming out of the pandemic. The CEO at Airbus, I think at the air show back in June of 2023, I think summed it up best when he said, "Look, this is a cyclical business, and during up cycles we hire people, and during down cycles we furlough and lay them off, and then the next up cycle comes around and we hire them back." And historically, they've been able to hire back 8 out of 10 people. And this time around, it's only been 2 out of 10. So we have a relatively young workforce throughout the aerospace supply chain, and it is showing up in quality escapes that we've experienced all throughout 2023 in Boeing supply chain, particularly on the 737. So look, I think what Calhoun and others need to do is just be very transparent with the public, its regulator, its customers, and then just continue to work really, really closely with suppliers to make sure that they limit quality escapes so that we don't potentially end up with issues like just happened over the weekend.
Right, Jason Gursky, Live for Us, thank you so much. Appreciate it.